I don't actually know what happened. Maybe I should look it up just real quick. Oh, man. Here, let me look it up. I don't really I should be keeping up with this kind of stuff, but I don't really know. Okay, I see. What? Holy shit! No, here, let's switch this over real quick. God, he got... conservative... Wait. Oh my fucking god. Your earphones broke. Coincidence? I think not. Has science gone too far? As they would say. Shit. Oh my god. Oh, after... Oh my god, this is crazy. Oh no. Oh no, and after the whole... I wonder what South Park is gonna do at a Utah campus. I mean... what actually happened? Should we actually look at the links or something? Should we read some of the articles just so we can at least keep up with what's going on? Or, no, this is... Oh man, this is crazy. Well, at least we have something to talk about. I don't know, here, let me look at this. Alright, I don't care, go away. Shit, activist, founder of Turning Point, fatally shot at Utah Valley from a targeted attack, according to investigation. Manhunt underway. 2 suspects as outlawing common, from both sides of the aisle and and blamed the radical left for the violence. And you're going to bed. You're gonna. Okay, thank you for leaving me traumatized, for calling me that. If you gotta go to bed, then go on ahead. I'm not... Damn. No, if I have to make this into a... Oh, Lord have mercy. Hello, DOJ1. Thank you for following. I'm just learning about what happened here. Good God. Let me... Hey, yeah. Thank you for joining the chat. I wish we were under a little more pleasant circumstances, but I was informed about this Charlie Kirk situation. Shot dead, confirmed his death, video circulating, recoil was heard. Oh my god, this is... Yep. Oh my god. Oh, Lord have mercy on us. I mean, that's sad. That's unfortunate. I mean, I was never a big fan of Charlie Kirk all that much. There's a video of it happening. I don't know if we can show that on stream, honestly. No, that's insane. No. At least we have something to talk about, even if it's something that's less than ideal. Oh my god. This one on the BBC says that it's live. Granted, I know better than to look at mainstream media in general. Maybe we should see if Asmongold is covering it, unless Asmongold isn't active at the moment. Oh man. Here, let me... I don't even know the... Okay. Yeah. Here, let's try to look for, I'm gonna try to look for if there's a video about what's going on. Oh no. No, unless Asmongold isn't available right now. Has he made anything, or is he still on break? Is that what this video is? No description has been added. Okay, so this is it. Here, I want to see what's actually going on. I think it's only appropriate that we at least be in the know and in the loop. Alright, I hope you guys can bear with me. I guess this is what we gotta do, right? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do as a streamer, even if it means reporting on the news. So, sit tight. We'll see what's going on, and hopefully we'll be able to get some much needed context to what's going on. Because if that's what's going on, then all right.
Hey guys, it's me again, and it's been a little while. Just before I get into the main topic of the video, I want to explain why there haven't been any videos. My dad has been
asmongold has been having a run-in with his dad has been having run-ins with
for the better part of a week now.
Right. So he's been taking a break.
Situation. It has required my full attention. And because of that, I've been on calls, I've been dealing with other people, talking to members of the family, and doing everything that I need to be there for my dad and for my family during this situation.
Let me do this.
And because of that, I haven't been live and I haven't made a lot of videos. I apologize for that. Hopefully I'll be back as soon as possible.
All right.
That being said, we had something insane happen today, and I was able to break away a little bit earlier, and I wanted to make a video about it and talk about the obvious and inevitable nature of the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Right.
This happened a few hours ago, and it was probably one of the most gruesome and graphic, and this is coming from somebody who grew up on Live Leak.
Oh my god. Thankfully, I've never been to Live Leak. I mean, I've only just learned about it, like, literally, chatters just informed me about it, so...
Videos I've ever seen, the first time I saw a video, I thought it was AI generated.
Oh, man.
The guy gets shot in the neck, and blood is...
Is that what happened? Good God.
...spurting out. I didn't even know it could do that.
Oh.
And it was absolutely fucking horrifying to see something...
I don't think... I'm not going to show that on stream. There's no way.
Something like that happened in front of a massive
Hello,
audience
Aluz.
of people.
Thank you for following. Apologies for being apologies for the less than ideal circumstances. I was just informed about an assassination, and right now I want to get caught up to speed, but thank you for following.
Charlie Kirk is. Charlie Kirk has been a pretty noteworthy, controversial guy. He's a conservative. He goes to a lot of college campuses.
Right.
Does live debate.
No, they did an episode about him in South Park, but I can only imagine people saying that the episode aged not quite as well as it could have.
This is a pretty popular format nowadays, and...
imagine being one of those college kids. Yeah, I can imagine. Good God. Yeah.
Charlie Kirk has been popularizing it and utilizing it now for many years.
Yep.
And
thanks for joining the stream, Aluz.
Because of it.
If that's how you
Charlie
say
Kirk
that.
Definitely is not a super...
Apologies for starting off with such a heavy topic, but I think it's important that we talk about it at least a little bit.
Radical right-wing person, but I would say that he's more of the moderate...
he's not very radical, well, I mean... I'm not really that big of a fan of him, but that doesn't mean that he deserves to die.
To, kind of extreme right-wing. Very, very, I would say, lukewarm, though, in my opinion.
He's not Nick Fuentes or Candace Owens, let's be real.
At least especially, and this is where we're going, especially compared to now. And what I think is going to happen now, because obviously... these shootings like this don't really happen inside of a vacuum, and
yeah, a lot of these have all sorts of context applied to them, but I mean that's what people say about Israel-Palestine, that it all didn't happen in a vacuum, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we need all this senseless violence, right?
Never do, they never have, and I think that the situation that we have right now is that there is a tremendous amount of political violence that is advocated for, promoted, and allowed to exist on social media.
It's been like that for years, if anything. Ever since at least 2024, and that's just being generous.
That has turned up the temperature in all political conversations, all social...
I hope so too.
...conversations, and...
It doesn't matter whether or not you like someone or dislike them. I mean, violence is violence regardless of who it's directed at, especially if it's directed at someone who's not really doing any real harm. I mean, yes, you could disagree with whoever you want, but I'm just saying.
All discourse on the internet in general to a point where it's almost unrecoverable. You have people that are out there all the time advocating for violence, advocating for people to get killed.
Yeah, there are people on, like, amongst, I guess, I don't want to say my people because that's a very vague statement, but at least in terms of my real life, I know that there are some people that I can't really speak on behalf of everyone, but, you know.
Somebody needs to take care of this guy. Somebody needs to deal with this. I wish he were dead.
Oh my god, no. Wishing death threats on others just because you disagree with them.
Somebody do it. The 8647.
Oh, that just reminded me of Taylor Lorenz, Hamas Diddy Bin Laden Adolf Epstein Piker's biggest simp.
All of the crypto messaging and all the doxing, right? Why do you dox somebody? Why do you post a person's home address? It's to make other people that are insane, like the person who killed Charlie Kirk, it's to give them the ammunition they need to kill that person and to put that person's life in danger. That's why they're doing it. And so that's the reason why they want to find out the identities of ICE agents. That's the reason why they want to...
Yeah, it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. Violence is violence. It doesn't matter whether you agree with them. And the fact that the people on... Well, I mean, it's been happening namely with the radical left in particular. Like, I mean, we did a reaction to a More Pegasus video where the context is that Hassan Piker was doxing some people, and then he tried to backtrack and say that he didn't know some of the people that were being doxed, and, you know.
Find out the identities of Tesla owners, like at the beginning.
Oh, I remember all that. All of the firebombing of Tesla dealerships. That's so bullshit.
Of the year, it's so they can destroy their car and destroy their lives. And this isn't necessarily a one-sided thing. I think that in the last 5 years or so, especially since BLM, it's been a 90% left-wing thing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and it's like there was a point in time where both the left and the right unanimously agreed that, like, terrorists were bad. But because of the likes of Hassan Piker unironically supporting terrorists, then suddenly it's very unfortunate. There needs to be balance.
But that doesn't mean that the 10% right-wing people are right either. But I do think that now you're going to see a lot more right-wing people balancing out those scales.
Right. Yeah, it's just going to cause more people to get radicalized. People are going to be more radicalized towards the right because of stuff like this, as well as what happened with that church shooting. It's just going to cause more hate and vitriol. And of course, the people that are committing these crimes are going to realize it because they think that they're in the right.
The fact is that you can take a knife to a gunfight all you want, and you can think that you're honorable, but you're going to end up being dead. And I think that's what right-wing people have done for a very long time. They've tried to speak above the political violence. They've tried to advocate above it and not try to stoop down to that level. But the issue is that a lot of these social media companies have expressed literally zero desire to even do the bare minimum of moderation.
Right, because with regards to social media, no, I remember I brought up Taylor Lorenz. She was working very closely with, like, Twitter before Elon Musk bought it, and she was, like, deleting accounts that happened to be even, like, slightly on the right. And when Elon Musk came in, it's like, obviously, Twitter's not a real place. I don't have a Twitter account at the moment, although I probably should get one in order to promote my channels, but I don't really want to get a Twitter.
I think that two of the worst actors are Twitter or X and Reddit. Both of these
and Reddit too.
Platforms are full of a bunch of extremist nut jobs that not only should have their accounts banned, but they should probably be put in mental institutions. And I think that now, I find it to be kind of interesting taking a step back for a week or so and seeing how many people are coming around to the inevitable reality that this is the only path forward. There are so many people in society now.
Yeah, nobody wants to find any middle ground. They're so far removed within their own echo chambers that they can't even see anything slightly outside of that. All they hear is just more white noise.
Now that are just completely unhinged, under-medicated, and really just completely insane, that you can't have a person like that running wild out in society. They cause problems for themselves, not to mention everybody else around them. And I think that the society, we need to have an honest conversation about how to deal with these people in a way that, and I'll be real, I don't really care about the people that are crazy. They're
right. Let's leave the crazy people alone. It's like, now to quote Arnold from Hey Arnold, I'm crazy, and you should never hit a crazy person.
Well-being and the way that, things are for them. Of course, obviously, I wouldn't want it to be bad, but it's certainly not important. What's really important is all the people who aren't crazy, making sure that people that are not crazy, that are good actors, that are law-abiding citizens, are able to live a life of peace, a life of prosperity.
Isn't that what we all want at the end of the day? To just be peaceful and prosperous with each other and with ourselves. To be able to live the life you want as you see fit, so long as you're not causing ill will or harm towards others. I'm pretty sure that's what most people want.
And a life without fear of going on the subway, for example, as at the recent event as well. And I think that every single person in the world deserves to live in a place like that. And I don't want to see, America turn into a PvP server.
Oh, Lord.
And it sure seems like it is. And I think that in order to prevent that from happening...
Yeah, this has been in the works for years. This is something that my mom has noticed as well. Like, my mom used to mention to me multiple times that based on what she's seen, she thinks that we might end up going into a civil war, which hopefully that doesn't happen, but if it does, I won't be fighting for either side. I will be fighting for a side that is beyond any side that is here on Earth.
Happening, we need to have honest conversations about what do you do with people that, get arrested 14 times, and it's not even a
Oh yeah, and it reminds me about people that will arrest someone for committing a very bad crime, but because they aren't of sound mental state, somehow that gives them the excuse to let them go.
It's not even a question, right? You put them in jail and you throw away the key, and you compel them to work, and that way you can make the money back from imprisoning them forever. That's the way that you solve that problem. It's very simple, actually. But for some reason, the way that makes people feel has made them unwilling to look at this obvious truth. If you look in history, this is what we've always done in history.
Yeah,
and it's
because
unfortunate. It works. And
yeah.
The problem is that now we have so much of the discourse that's dominated by emotional thinking.
It's always emotions. Nobody wants to put actual rational thought into any of their actions. They're so blinded by their hatred of whatever it is that taught them to hate it, and they're incapable of using their better judgment.
Dominated by the most unstable, the most virtue signal, the most...
yeah, they're always appealing to feelings, right? It's always feelings over facts, when it should be the other way around. And for some reason, when you try to tell them the truth about certain things, they'll just accuse you of being all of the ists and all of the phobes, even though it's just the truth.
Ridiculous, performative empathy possible, and that's defining a huge political voice in the country. This has become a tremendous detriment to everyone. And I think that with people like the shooter that probably shot Charlie Kirk, with that guy in the subway that stabbed that Ukrainian woman, or with that trans shooter that shot up the school, one thing that's common among all of them is that these people in almost
if you hear some footsteps in the background, just ignore it.
All cases were verifiably nuts beforehand, and nothing ever was done about it. And until we can stomach the idea of solving problems like that before they happen, we're going to keep having problems. And
but that's the thing. We try to learn history in order for history not to repeat itself, yet we keep repeating history anyway, so it's like, what's the point of even learning?
I think that with Charlie Kirk, it's very obvious that the amount of, political violence and advocating for political violence that's happening on the internet has turned up the temperature and created an environment and a culture where this type of behavior is normal. And not only is it normal, but it's actually encouraged. And the problem is...
Yep. So even, there are a bunch of bunch of streamers on like the far left, even within like the Hassan orbit. No, I remember Mike from PA talking about, oh, if you live in Florida and you want to make a whole bunch of money, oh, have I got a proposition for you, or something like that.
That now people are acting on it. And you're starting to see this happen, and I think it's going to continue getting worse. I don't think Charlie Kirk is going to be the last one.
Probably
but I
not.
think that we will look at Charlie Kirk's death and see it as a turning point in this topic.
Yep, it's just going to radicalize people even more than they already are, both on the left and the right.
And
it's not
what
good
I'm
for
really
anyone.
trying to get at here with this entire point is that right now we are at a extremely pivotal moment. And I think that what's going to end up happening is that right-wing people are not going to continue to turn the other cheek. They're not going to continue to just, oh, well, you know...
Eventually, they're going to want to balance it out.
This is just a crazy left-wing radical. I think you're probably going to see right-wing people doing the same thing to left-wing people.
Oh, good lord.
And honestly, while I don't think this is a good thing, I certainly don't really feel that sorry for them. Because a lot of left-wing people have no problem advocating for violence, or at least using coded language in order to advocate for violence.
Right.
The fact is that there's a certain level of intellectual dishonesty that goes on in situations like...
Yeah, they manipulate each other all the time, and if you even just... the 1%, you might agree with them on 99% of things, but that 1%, if you disagree with them on that, then suddenly you're the equivalent of the mustachioed Austrian painter, and that 1% is usually related to Israel.
Where it's considered, oh, well, you know, this isn't actually what they meant, and no, this is actually some other... No, it is. It's exactly what they mean. They're trying to advocate for killing people that they disagree with. That's what's happening, and there's no talking around it. And to the extent that you try to, you're insulting the intelligence of anyone that you're speaking to. And I think that now you're going to start seeing a lot of right-wing people end up doing this to left-wing people now.
Yep, the people talk about the pendulum swinging one way and the other. It swung one way and it's swinging the other now.
Even more. Because it's very clear that these social media platforms are not going to moderate this behavior. The FBI, for whatever reason, just refuses to deal with or have any degree of accountability for dealing with these obvious terrorists that are in the country. And because of that, I think you're going to start seeing an uptick of violence from right-wing people as well. And this is going to be, in my opinion, I don't really think the word is justified, because it's not justified.
It's not.
But the word is expected. I think it's going to be expected.
People are just trying to... No, I remember South Park made a joke about how school stuff like that were just a regular thing, to the point to where when there was like a scene transition in an episode towards the school and you hear gunshots and kids screaming, but they're just sitting in class doing whatever it is that they're doing. And I think we're living in a South Park episode for real, for real.
Expected. The fact is that, you know, again, you bring a knife to a gunfight, you're gonna lose. And don't be surprised when you keep bringing guns to gunfights and then somebody else decides to start shooting back. I think that's what's gonna happen. And I think this is a degradation of society as a whole. And ultimately, the real burden of responsibility here doesn't really fall on influencers, and I don't think that it falls even on the commenters themselves.
Right.
I think it falls primarily on the government. The fact is that the government, there are already laws that permit, explicit calls to violence. There's already laws that permit the types of stalking and doxing.
Lord. No, that's the thing, like... Threats of violence aren't supposed to be considered free speech, like libel and slander are also not protected. But I don't know the full context of free speech laws, so I don't think I can really speak on that behalf.
That people engage in online. And one of the big things that is a misconception is that people like me want new laws, we want any form of extra censorship at all. I certainly don't want that, and I don't know anybody else that does either. But what we do want is we want the existing laws to be applied and to be enforced in an accurate and...
That's what people want with Twitch, right?
...and a fair way, which is clearly not what's happening. And really, the government not doing that and giving this asymmetrical, in my opinion, advantage to left-wing people to...
Yeah, it's been like that forever. Like, you have all of these news sites that are all, like, overtly left-leaning, and the only right-leaning site is Fox News, and they're just as much propaganda as all the others.
Fully and free, with complete freedom, practice genuine terrorism on a daily basis, and then, you know, congratulate each other about how moral and how good they are for doing it because something bad that happened in Palestine or something.
It always goes back to that, doesn't it? How can you focus on this when there's a genocide happening over there?
Something bad that Donald Trump did 3 years ago. This is just simply a response. This is what's going to happen. And so, and I think that that's probably what it's going to take for these left-wing people to realize what a bad idea what they've been doing is. Because until it starts happening to them, until they start...
Well, here's the thing. If it does start happening to them, they're just going to point the finger and say, we told you so. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Start having people that are their friends or, you know, their, you know, like icons that they look up to, the same way people looked up to Charlie Kirk. You know, until they start seeing those people get killed, I don't think it's really going to be real for them. And unfortunately, I think that's the path that we're headed down because of the government and social media companies and every other seemingly governmental apparatus that has just completely hand-waved this problem and ignored it entirely. So the death of Charlie Kirk and the assassination of him should not come as a surprise to anyone.
It's not surprising.
This should be something...
I mean, it was a surprise to me because I didn't really know about it until someone messaged me and I was like, wait, what is he talking about? And then I find out about this.
That everybody could have expected. All you had to do was read Twitter for an hour and you could have told me this would have happened, of course. Same with Reddit. And until that core problem is addressed, you will continue to see a rapid decline in any type of social discourse. And I'm actually kind of afraid to see what's going to happen next, because I think it's just going to continue getting worse, and I don't see the reason for it to stop. And so anyway, I wanted to make this video because it's obviously a topic that, you know, I've been talking about this a lot for the past few years now.
Right.
And I was laughed at.
I've been paying attention to all of the stuff for the past few years, so it's obviously not surprising that it happened, but also at the same time, I guess.
A lot, and people were telling me it wasn't that big of a deal, and they were...
It's a very big deal. It's always been a big deal.
Joking, they were joking. Well, I saw the video, that wasn't a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I'm not going to show the video on stream.
The reality is that those jokes and everything create a culture and an environment where the actual actions are more permissible. And you also have people that are the ones telling me, quote, jokes that are talking around just, you know, directly, you know, saying that this is a bad thing and it shouldn't be tolerated for any reason. You have, I don't want to go through a bunch of different names, but anybody, this is the way I look at it, I'm just going to make a categorical judgment here, is that any content creator or anybody like this who has been advocating for violence against a person in an extrajudicial way. I'm not talking about trying people who they disagree with for treason. This is advocating for the judicial process to be used against people they disagree with. I think that's fine. But whenever you have people that are saying things like 8647, or anybody who's advocating for any form of extrajudicial justice.
Yeah, I know I mentioned like Taylor Lorenz and the Hassan orbit, but I'm sure there's plenty of people outside of that have been wanting this stuff as well.
Yeah, extrajudicial justice and basically vigilante justice on people who they disagree with politically. You have to realize that all of those people, I think, have made themselves acceptable targets. And I think that there's a lot and millions of people.
This just reminded me it's something that a chatter once told me. Hopefully it doesn't come true.
Out there nowadays that see that. And I think that that should be extremely worrying for them. It should be terrifying. But the reality is that they have created that environment themselves through their own actions, through their behavior, and through their own words. You reap what you sow. And I think that things are about to get a whole lot worse. So anyway...
Things have been getting worse for a long time.
Hey guys, I wanted to make this video and talk about it. And that's about all I've got to say.
Alright.
So I hope to be back soon. I'll record videos when I can, here and there. But for the most part, as I said before, My dad has had so many really serious issues going on.
Yeah, take your time, man. We've got your back. But damn, I don't know who's here right now. Checking the stream. But yeah, I mean, we could read some other news articles to get some more context, but I'm sure we could also move on to something else. Preferably something that's a little less heavy like this. But part of me is kind of glad that we decided to talk about it so that we at least get some context of what's going on. Let me read this real quick. Yeah, an alert was set up. Yeah, there's no on-call threat to the campus. Those left sessions during rush hour. Let's check this. Good lord. Oh man. I mean, you do reap what you sow, all things considered. But either way, I think it's best that we move on. If anyone is, anyone in Kick or on YouTube, if anyone has any like closing thoughts before we do something else, feel free to chime in whenever.